going on, guys? This is Barry from Connection Interrupted. I'm going to be doing another Injustice Fightstick mod. This time I'm going to be swapping out the LEDs. I'm going to show you how to do it without having any soldering skills. Like me, I don't really know how to solder, so instead of ruining a fight stick, I'd just rather play it safe until I get more practice. So a couple things you're gonna need for this. You are going to need a drill, the little tiny drill bit. I think the smaller the better, because you're gonna have to use it to drill holes into the actual push buttons. Wire stripper and cutter, pretty much get this anywhere for like under 10 bucks. And then a little mini screwdriver to screw everything back in, flathead for the to screw on the fight stick, or the bat stick, or the ball, whichever one you prefer. X-Acto knife. This is pretty much for the artwork that we're going to be using. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You know, you get it to size, cut the edges out, and then get it to fit. And then a nail filer, which I'll show you what we're going to use that for. So going back to the Injustice Fight Stick, these are the original buttons. You know, the clear with the black top, and then it's got the little the blue LEDs, and then the little connector here for it, if you guys can see. And then this is what it looks like taken apart. So pretty much I gutted this one again and went ahead and labeled it like before. So this is really important. Try to remember to label all your stuff, because it's a pain in the butt to try to figure out what button goes to what. So here's the basic fight stick, and what you're gonna need is either a Samitsu or a Sanwa push button. You don't want to get the ones that you can just push through with the little flares out. You want to get the screw-on ones, and I'll explain to you why. Because if you see here, this is my my failed attempt. Because when I first ordered the push buttons, I ordered the wrong kind and couldn't figure out why I couldn't get the LED in here to fit. So if you can see here, alright, you can see kind of here all the random holes that I put in to try to get this thing to fit, and then like an idiot I realized that it's this part right here, the part that kind of you push in, or to get the button to come out, that gets in the way. So there's really no way to file down this guy small enough to get it to fit without getting the wires to, you know, like fall off after countless tries. Trust me, I know, I did it, and I was kind of pissed off. So you want to get the ones that screw on, to give you a little bit more space. So I'm just gonna move this down, and then there's the little tabs right here that you kind of want to gently push up. Now you don't want to do it too hard, and you kind of want to get a feel for that, because it will snap, and then, you know, then you'll have to order another one. So that was pretty simple. As you can see here, there's none of those little like pin divots, so a little bit of extra room. This part I always found a little tricky. You kind of have to push in the little pin and then kind of keep it down, and then push the other one in. So then you got open room like this. So then what you want to do is you gotta look at your little LED board here, and I got mine. It's got the RGB and the white right next to the ground. Now the ground, or not the ground, but the power source, it's kind of backwards because usually the ground would be black. Now in this case, the black wire is the power, and then this is actually white for the white light, and then you got your other basic colors right here. So if you get this particular kind, the white and the black are right next to each other, so when you drill the holes into the push button, you kind of got to make it close, but not close enough where it just kind of becomes like a weird rectangle thing. And make sure that you got everything nice and secure, and you want to be really careful pushing it through. It's not a lot of plastic, so if you just lightly do it, it should go in nice and smooth. You don't want to risk, you know, doing it at an angle or messing up or drilling through a table or anything like that. So I'm just gonna take it, and let's see, we're gonna start with this side, and then see how easy that was? So then we gotta make the other holes. Now I don't really have this to size. I just kind of guess, and hopefully it kind of like works its way out. There's really no actual way of making sure that it's like matched up. So I guess if you want, put little like tick marks or something like that. So then just gotta drill the other holes. So then you just kind of want to blow all the stuff out. You want to make sure there are no like plastic edges popping out. Alright, so now that we have that all set, this is where the nail filer comes in. Now you want to be really careful when you file the edges down. You just want to do it just so the corners are kind of smooth and rounded. Not too much. You don't have to go crazy with it. It should be a snug fit, but good enough where it's not going to really move around. So you don't want to shave too much off. So I'm just going to lightly file here. So make sure everything is nice and rounded. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer for you guys. I'm really just doing it just to make sure that there aren't any like pointed corners. For the most part, it kind of does just fit into place, so that shouldn't be too bad. So that's pretty much all you need to do. And you gotta clear off all the debris and whatnot. Now you really want to be careful with the wires here. I actually ended up, one of the wires from my first trial ended up falling off for just me being careless and just really going at it with the filer. So you don't want that to happen. So just keep that in mind, that you don't want to go too fast or too hard. Just take your time. You really want this to be a success the first time. So okay, so you would just want to lightly feed the wires through. wires do kind of get annoying and they kind of crisscross and get tangled. So I mean, I don't really have the patience for it, but for the sake of making this come out right the first time, kind of have to will myself to not rip all the wires out and start screaming. Okay. Now see this part right here, there's a piece of plastic, so if you just want to get something tiny to kind of, like an Allen wrench, something to just kind of break apart the leftover plastic, and it's always the last one that gives you the problem. Come on. And there we go. Alright. So you just lightly tug, make sure that, you know, the wires are all in the right spots. You don't want to be you don't want to pull it and then have the wires be like almost sandwiched or pinned. So so you want to take the little button part, you know, the micro switch, and you just want to put it right under the LED, and it should fit pretty nicely. You know, little wiggle room, but nothing too crazy. And then you want to line the wires to each side. You don't want it, shite. You don't want to, well, alright. So this thing just wants to go in, so, alright. So make sure you got everything lined up, like so. And then what you want to do is kind of, well, there you go. So that was pretty easy. It goes in pretty nicely, and then you get some pliers, and then you just lightly want to push it down, make sure it's as far down as it's gonna be. I'm not convinced that mine's all the way down, so I'm just gonna be that guy. And yeah, see, you want to make sure that it's pushed down as far as you can, because this little pocket right here, like this tab, let's see, right there, that tab needs to kind of go all the way down. And if the LED board is kind of, if it's up, then it's gonna not really go all the way down, and it's gonna feel weird. So we don't want that. And then, of course, of course I fucked it up. So this is why you always want to take your time. So so now I gotta move some stuff around. There you go. Alright. So I messed that up. So I want you want to make sure that when you put the LED on with the push switch, that it's gonna be aligned with the top part, because then if it doesn't fit, then obviously if one's vertical and the other one's horizontal, it's not gonna go in right. So try this again. Everything should be the same way, and there you go. And well, There you go. So you want the button to bounce right back. Took me a little while to get it, so I'm just trying to rush through it for the sake of the video. But really, just take your time with it. Unless you have an infinite amount of buttons, then go crazy. And then pretty much I did it for all the other ones. Got all the different colors and all the crazy wire mess. So that's that part. Now what you're gonna need for the non-soldering part, the wire strippers. So if you can see here, I cut and then stripped these two wires right here from this little guy, which this goes into this and it lights up blue. So took these two parts. Now what you're gonna need, if you're not gonna be doing the soldering, if you're not comfortable or really familiar with soldering, what you're gonna need is these telephone splice connectors. So here's what they should look like. Now what these do is you feed the wires right up in here, and then this red piece you just get like some pliers or anything and just really cramp it down. What it's gonna do is the wires sit in place and there's a little metal band here. When you snap the red, it kind of like closes the whole the connection, and that way you don't have to kind of solder all the pieces together. This kind of helps. It just connects everything and it works. So you're gonna need those, and let's see, where do I begin? So pretty much, obviously, we're gonna need to cut all these and then get the artwork and all that stuff on before we can even get to this part. Alright, so let's get the artwork here. Another thing too, keep this handy just because you know, it helps when you're cutting out the artwork, unless you got one of those actual paper cutters where you can just measure it to size. So what I went and did is got this artwork right here, and I'm going to be using that. As you guys can probably already tell that I'm going with a Ninja Turtles theme. Thought that would be cool for a video for the LED aspect of it. And in my last video, if you guys saw it, all I did with the joystick was, if you watched, I just took just like the bottom parts out of it, because this top plate right here, it does fit, but the screws are kind of at an angle, so you kind of have to really get in there and you know, for the sake of not ruining the plastic, because once you snap the plastic, you're pretty much screwed anyways. So what I do is, if I can, alright, so pretty much you got it like this. I'm actually gonna use the regular plate as opposed to the octagon plate from like a regular. Actually, this is a regular. This isn't an octagon plate, but a Sanwa plate that came with the JLF. So I'm gonna use the regular one just for the sake of the Injustice game. So what you want to do is you want to take the Injustice joystick. Yeah, let me just move this out of the way. You want to take the Injustice joystick and just unscrew, just so you can get this plate off, because this plate will actually fit on a JLF. It'll just help it mount without you having to kind of force the screws on. you see here the little blue LED. So put that aside, and then we start taking this guy apart. Except that wire is stripped, and so are the rest of these, from what I can tell, unless I get a bigger one. Oh wow, these are stripped. Alright, not a big deal.